P for perspective stands also like to not get taken away or carried away by other agendas. But I'm not saying that other agendas are not important. I'm not saying that there are not a lot of good causes you should fight for in the future, or even right now if you feel so, if it really fulfills you. But you shouldn't get carried away by what other people want from planet Earth, or from your existence, or from their existence. You should get carried away by what you want and what you feel is fulfilling you the most, your agenda. I'm not saying you should be like this egocentric maniac, right? And just focusing on yourself. But once you develop something healthy, a great habit, a great routine, once you develop your instruments, you're getting success, you're getting recognition, you get acknowledged by what you're doing, then your life, your fulfillment, your energy, your environment will do better as well, because you're happy. When you're happy, your environment will be happy. And as a matter of fact, you can create, out of a very small circle, you can create big impact on a global scale if you really have that fulfillment. But if you work constantly for everybody else instead for yourself, because let's face it, it's also easier to say, I'm working for a good cause, I'm fighting the good fight, I'm in many projects, helping a lot of people and friends, that's all good. But who's helping you? Are you helping yourself? You can't just swim the whole time. You need to kind of, lay the foundation for your own coral reef, where you can kind of collect and gather all of your friends, all of the beautiful things that life and nature has to offer, and place them in your universe. Because you're a creator. That's why you're here on this channel. But you can't create without perspective. You need that path. So what's your perspective? Where you want to be in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years? What lessons do you want to learn? What missions do you want to accomplish? What people do you like to impress, besides yourself, of course? Once you feel fulfilled, once you accomplish something for yourself, you will be better. And if we all focus on perspective, we all focus on finding the right path, the right way, and creating something amazing for the future, we won't flirt with the problem, but we will be so enamored with the solution. Because a lot of people right now, they are so obsessed about the problem. Our brain is obsessed about ramifications and specializing more and more and more and going deeper and deeper and deeper into the details, which sometimes can preclude us from seeing globally and having a vision of what's going on for real. And where we at in all this game, in this mosaic that is called existence and life. We need perspective to see exactly where am I placing this colored stone on this plate so this whole thing makes sense. Because if I just see the detail, I won't see the whole picture. I won't see the grand thing, the grand scheme. It's about acknowledging, absorbing, observing, learning, and then implementing, and then of course putting it out there, displaying so people can recognize it. That's art. You have an idea, okay, then you put it out, you display it, you show it to people, and they will perceive it, they will recognize it. And once it's recognized, the circle is closed, the cycle is finished, a new cycle can start again. And it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. But if we're just caught up in very small linear thoughts and automatisms, there's no way I can create that circle, that cycle of creativity where I have the chance to include my audience, other people, and become bigger and bigger and better through the experience. Think about nature. We love to take nature as the perfect example of everything. And in some ways it is. But why are we so opposed of the idea that we are part of nature and nature is part of us? Because if we would do so, we would learn way more than just saying, hey, we have to save nature. Of course we have to save nature. We are nature. We have to save ourselves. And how can we do that? By observing closely and precisely what's going on. And when I say perspective, what I mean is a tree. If you see a tree, you see perspective. Why? Because the tree is not thinking about nature. It's not thinking about the bigger agenda. It's not thinking about any crisis. The tree is just thinking about to learn. The tree needs to learn in order to grow. Once the tree learns, it grows. It becomes better, thicker, more robust. It fortifies its trunk. It can give life to all the leaves. And also the tree can become a protector of other life. Once the tree is fully grown and it has explored its boundaries and it's grown its crown, it can welcome a lot of different animals. It can welcome nature in life and protect life in this little single organic environment. You have to become like a tree. That's your perspective. Learn, grow. You get this thicker skin, grow a second, thicker skin, fortify yourself, fortify your knowledge, go deeper with your roots, gain more momentum, more knowledge out of the soil, out of earth, grow even better, grow even bigger, even taller, and then you can start to create your own universe. Be like a tree. That's what perspective is. And again, it's not about being self-centered. But if you get carried away by all agendas, if you get carried away by everyday happenings, news flash, bulletins, and media outlets and distractions like social media, then you will never find your own path. So it's elementary to have perspective. Where you want to be? What kind of actor do you like to be? What kind of thoughts should your audience have after leaving the theater, after watching you for 90 minutes straight? What kind of thoughts should somebody have, like after perceiving your art or hearing your poetry or admiring your architecture, your building style, whatever? As an artist, we have to think about how the audience feels after they leave the room, after they exit the theater. Not what kind of idealism I should follow to please the crowds. That is not art. That is politics. And polis means I'm always for a pole. I'm always for something and the rest is for something else. That is polarizing. Yes, art can be polarizing, but because of another intention, because of what you are expressing, because of your vision. Because once you display your vision, for sure there will be somebody opposed to that vision who might like it or dislike it. That is where a healthy polarization comes from. But if your thought is to polarize right from the start, then you are taking party for something and not creating art. Does that make sense? Because it's really important we can understand that perspective works this way. It has a natural way of evolving for itself, like a tree. A tree will never walk away from its position. That doesn't mean that a tree is egoistic or an egomaniac. Quite the contrary, it gives life and protection to all of its nature's beauties and protects many, many animals. So both can work together, but the tree will never follow any other trees, even though it's part of a forest. It still has its own individuality. That is so important about art. Otherwise, you don't have an expression, you don't have a meaning, and you don't have a message that kind of supports your art like a column. Then it becomes just trend, fashion, style, politics, idealism. It's not really your expression. So what is your expression? Your expression is the artistic perspective that you should have. Where you want to be? What kind of things do you want to achieve? This is the best time in humankind's history to think about that fundamentally. Sit down with yourself, see yourself, perceive yourself in the future. 10 years from now, you can achieve amazing things, extraordinary things. If you really love what you're doing and you have the sensation that you are able to perceive what your audience should feel and think, then you create the mood inside of your heart, and that mood will create the vibrance, the resonance, the atmosphere in which now you can place your colors, your expressions, your artistic behavior in. Now you're creating that environment that is fruitful and helpful to transform your vision from feelings and sensations and thoughts into the real world and let it become something tangible for everybody to see. You need perspective to do that. Otherwise, everything will crumble. Don't get distracted. Don't get carried away. Don't get taught by somebody else what you should do in order to please the masses. There is no perfect way to success, but just to control your actions and fulfill yourself and learn through the process and constantly go on and have the patience. The road to mastery goes through repetition, nothing else. The tree does that for the rest of its life. It repeats the cycle endlessly until it's full grown and can give a safe harbor to all the animals and also flourish at the same time for itself. That is the perfect combination. There is a collaboration between nature and material world that I can see as a success without hurting anyone else. P, like perspective.